All right, in this example, we're going to construct a frequency distribution. So they gave us some raw data. 25 members of a psychology class were polled as to the number of siblings their families had. It says to construct a frequency distribution and a relative frequency distribution, which is the percentages, for their responses. So here's all the responses that we got. And it's not very easy to make any assumptions based on that. Okay, we need to organize a little bit better. So the range in this, it looks like the smallest is 1, the highest is 6. So here's what they did. They constructed a frequency distribution. So how many 1s, how many 2s, how many 3s, how many 4s, how many 5s, how many 6s. And typically they'll put little tally marks right here. So let's write those in. Typically, they'll put little tally marks like, okay, I see a 2. Let me put a tally there. I see a 3. Let me put a tally there. My next number is a 1. And then I have a couple more 3s. So that's how they start. And when they finish, they count them all up. So we end up with 4 1s, and we end up with 7 2s, 6 3s, 3 4s, 3 5s, and 2 of them had 6 siblings. Erase this, it doesn't get in our way. So now that we know how many there are, we can do the relative frequency. So when you're doing the relative frequency, you need to remember that they polled 25 students. Okay, so we have 25 members here. They polled 25, that's our grand total. So you take the frequency over the total. 4 over 25, when you divide it out, gives you 0.16. Move the decimal twice to the right to get 16%. 7 over 25 is around 0.28, so they move the decimal twice to the right. 6 over 25, 3 over 25, and then 2 over 25. And they just move the decimal over twice to the right to make it a percent. The percentages are called the relative frequency. Now we're going to use these numbers to create histograms, which are bar graphs, and frequency polygons. Let's look at the histogram for a minute. On the left side is our frequency. Since our highest number is 6, we have to go up at least to 6. Our lowest number is 1. So you want to start at 0 and go up at least to 6. In this particular case, we actually need to look at our frequency. So our highest number is 7. Sorry about that. So we want to go from 0 to 7. Now they counted by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8. You could have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As long as you're consistent and you don't skip around and do 1 and then 5 and then 6, you're okay. So just be consistent. They did 2, 4, 6, 8. They wrote frequency over here. They told us number of siblings. And then, of course, we have what we have over here on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are our options. So since there were 4 with 1 sibling, they went up to 4, drew a bar. There were 7 with 2 siblings. They went up to 7 and then drew their bar. Same thing with the rest of them. Now notice all these bars are connected. Okay, this is called a histogram. Down below it is a frequency polygon. Instead of bars, they use dots. So for the number that had 1 sibling, it was 4. They went up and put a dot. 2 siblings was 7. They put a dot. And then the next one was 6 siblings. They went up and put a dot. Now the difference is here it's a line graph instead of bars. So after you get all your dots, you connect them. And they also connect it back to the x-axis in the beginning and the end, okay? Your left side, your frequency is the same, and your bottom, the number of siblings, is the same. But they made it into a line graph instead of a bar graph.